Hey everybody, it's me, Shane, with the board meeting. I'm back with another episode. Now, today I wanted to talk about a certain topic. I wanted to talk about the top 100 games of all time according to BGG, according to BoardGameGeek.com. Now, BoardGameGeek.com is like my go-to website when I'm talking about board games. You can go on there and pretty much look up every single board game that is out there, and it's going to have the artist, the publisher, the designer. They're going to have player count. They're going to have a description of the game. They're going to have images of it. BGG is extremely useful for myself. I am on BGG a few times every single day. Now, what thing it also does is you can rank games. You can rate the games. And what it ends up doing is it ends up ranking these games according to, how many people have rated this game and how high they rate them. And eventually, there's a list, and there's a top 100 games on there. There is several dozen thousand games actually on this website, but the first page on BGG is that, the top 100 games of all time. And it's a very prestigious list. To me, I think of it as very prestigious. If your game is in the top 100 games of all time on BGG, that's very prestigious. That's like akin to being like in the Hall of Fame for board games. If you are a designer or publisher or whatever, and one of your games is in the top 100 games of all time, it kind of feels like here you've made it. You definitely have made a big splash in the board gaming hobby, being one of the top 100 games of all time. And for me, it's always kind of been a goal for myself to play every single game that is on the top 100 games of all time. I've failed so far, but when I was thinking about making this video, I was like, how close am I to playing all the top 100 games of all time? And throughout the years, I have played games that were in the top 100, and then they've fallen out because this list is kind of constantly in flux. There are games that are falling out, and there's games that are coming in. Games that I've played have fallen out, and games that I haven't played have come into it. But I went and I looked. How many of these games have I actually played that are in the current top 100 games? So far, I've played only 62, and that was kind of a disappointing number when I was going through it. I'm like, I was thinking I probably had played 80 or so, but I went and counted them, and it's 62. So currently, there are 38 games on the current top 100 games that I have not played. But then I started looking at these games and how realistic is it for myself to be able to play all 100 games of them currently that are on there. And I would say probably pretty unrealistic, to be honest, for several reasons. One, for money reasons. First off, on BGG, it also shows when you look at a game, it also shows what that sale price is on Amazon currently. And I was looking through, and 16 of these 38 games that I haven't played are currently listed for more than $100, and several are listed for more than $200. I think Kingdom Death Monster was listed at like $600 or $700. And then several of the other games weren't even listed on Amazon because they are currently out of print. And if you would go on eBay or wherever you're going to find them, those games are several $100s. So in order for me to play these 38 extra games that I haven't played, I would have to spend probably $10,000 in order to play those 38 games. Am I willing to do that? No, I'm not. How my situation is currently when I play games, I usually buy the game, I usually learn the game, and then I usually play the game. That's kind of how my situation is. Occasionally, a friend will bring games, and they'll teach me one of their games. But that's less common than me buying the game. And so for me to play all these games, realistically, I'm probably going to have to buy most of the games. I'm probably going to have to learn most of those games. And so that's kind of a difficult thing to do. And especially a lot of these games that I haven't played that are on the top 100 games are pretty complex games. And do I want to go through the process of learning that game, or that's really, really complex, that's going to take probably a couple days just to learn the game, and then you're going to play the game, and it's a learning process, especially for those big complex games. Am I willing to do that? Sometimes I want to learn big, giant, heavy games, but a lot of times I kind of, my sweet spot is usually like a medium weight game, somewhere that's around like 2.5 to 3.5 on the BGG weight scaling. No, that's not a very helpful scaling, but that's kind of my sweet spot. Those are the games that I really enjoy, that I really like learning. I like complex games, but I don't, as many games as I'm trying to learn all the time throughout the month, do I want to spend that much time and effort into one singular game? Like the fact that I have too many bones. I actually bought too many bones, and it's sitting on my shelf for a while now. Do I have the patience and want to learn that game? I want to learn it, I should say. Am I going to? It's probably going to take me a while to learn that game. And so, between the complexity of these games and the price point of these games, it's probably going to be unrealistic that I will ever learn every game or play every game that is in the top 100 games currently, especially with games falling out and new ones coming in. But when I do get a chance to play a game that is in the top 100, I get excited for it just because of the potential for that game. Because I would say that most of the games that are in the top 100, 200, 300 games of all time, when I've played them, I'm like, oh yeah, these are pretty good games. So there's a couple of them that I didn't really like, but for the most part, I've enjoyed almost all the games that I've played that are in the top 100, 200. And there's a couple of them that are my favorite games of all time. So when I get a chance to play one of these games for the first time ever, the potential of it excites me because there's a good chance I'm going to like it. There's a decent chance I'm going to love it. There's a chance that it's going to be one of my favorite games of all time. And that just excites me. The potential of that game really excites me. And it's just, will it ever happen for me to play all of them? I would say almost 100% unlikely. And I'd comment down below, how many games in the top 100 have you played? And if you've played all 100 games in the top 100, that is awesome. I am very jealous of you if you have done that. But I bet there are very few people that actually have done it because of the cost, because of the time it would encase for you to do such a thing. But I think it would be awesome if someone did it. Maybe there's a couple, maybe professional reviewers that have done it, but I would say more than likely there's probably less than a dozen people maybe out there who have done it. Maybe more. Maybe I'm way off on that number, but that would be quite an accomplishment to do that. Yeah, so just make sure to comment down below some of your thoughts on this topic. If you have done it, or how many have you done? How many games out of the top 100 have you played? And is it kind of like one of your goals to try to play some of these games that are in the top 100? Does it excite you to do that? Either way, if you did enjoy this video, though, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you'll have an amazing day. Take care.